Hey everyone, welcome back to the 8th build installment of Main Street USA by Lego Disney. This is set number 43302, contains 3,899 pieces, retails for a whopping $399.99. That was provided by the Lego Group for review. Thank you, Lego. And that's essentially what we're working on. Well, we're getting somewhere, so this is as far as I got in the last installment here. Sadly, the score is getting it at a 5. I'm tired of looking at scratched parts, so yeah. But more or less, the build experience is still pretty good. Build quality is probably about the average of a Lego City or Friends set. But more or less, it is a very fun build to put together. Now, in addition to that, I don't think we even grazed on the stickers that much. So the stickers are, they're spaced out evenly. It's not like we're just doing tons of them at one time, so that's even better. Well, in this installment, we are going to finish up the roof today, and that's what's in bags 22, 23, and 24. So I'm going to be focusing on these today. And I'm hoping it's not a bunch of small parts like we did in the last one. And pretty much that's the interior. If this was a clamshell, this would make a great little modular. But it's not, so. But at least we can get our hands there and move around, which is even better. Before we begin, these videos are not to be considered construed as professional product reviews, how-tos, or tutorials. These are just merely my notes. In addition, I do this stuff just for fun. This is just a hobby of mine, so please don't take these seriously. And the commentary and what I say in these videos are mine and mine alone. Lego doesn't pay me to say that stuff. And lastly, don't snag my videos and upload them to somewhere else, please. Just don't do that. There's no need to do that. They're going to be here for a very long time, so just feel free to share the video with everybody. Okay, that's all I ask. Okay, well, let's begin. Let's build it. We're going to start with bag 22, which I think we're going to be filling this hole here in. And today is the 25th of June, 2026. So it is early in the morning. So I decided to do this before I go to work. Hope I can get it done in about an hour. And yeah, we're going to have to do a part inspection. I see those. That's got me worried. But right now at this point, it doesn't matter because I've already reached my limit of scratched parts. So we're going to check the bricks here. Usually these I don't like checking, but some people say I should. That one's not too bad. It didn't have anything on it. Usually the smaller the pieces, the better off they are. And yeah, apparently I'm not the only one up. Somebody has been up all night playing video games. I wish I can do that. Well, I guess that's it. So part inspection has been passed. Okay, now we're going to focus right in this area here. So, I mean, don't let the size fool you. There's not a lot of parts. Doesn't mean we're not going to be doing a whole lot here. Got one more day of work and I'm done. I get that done today and I am finished. That means I don't have to do anything but just do nothing. But I was thinking about that old classic game I had called Castlevania Sympathy of the Night, and I really want to get back into playing that again. I was listening to the soundtrack when I got up this morning and I thought, I want to get back in and play that. Here I'm just talking about video games while building with Lego, but that does sound like a lot of fun. So maybe we can do that someday. I've been thinking about going back live and playing video games. We've got to be careful because of the soundtracks and stuff. That could get me in trouble. Got to be careful. But I've been thinking about that game and I thought, man, I'd like to revisit that again. Okay. Yeah. So I have sets coming in later on, probably Friday or so, and then I have We're using transparent in there. And I got some parts coming in. So I haven't looked at it to see where they're at yet. I may do that after I get done with a section of this. It's not a bad little window. I'll see what I can do here. But right now, I really want to get this done here. We need a yellow one. Cool yellow. Is this a set I'm going to keep, or am I going to part out? Probably part out. So I've been editing a little bit more of that video with the avatar. I'm just going to have to. I'm thinking of just keeping them for shorter videos. Maybe if I'm in the mood. Sometimes I just don't have that kind of time. If these videos were making millions of views, I would probably do that. But I may end up using it for maybe a companion, because now I can do that. So maybe Jay, the arrogant guy, can just pop in and tell me off. The possibilities are endless, but he will be the mascot eventually. Okay, let me bring this. Let me just zoom it out here a little bit for you. So that goes there. That doesn't look too bad for that little corner window. Not too bad at all. So that's my agenda. I'm thinking of just doing that. And well, some of these don't want to go in straight. I reread everything again, and I'm just kind of like, why can't I just keep the sig fig? But you know, I gotta respect Lego's copyright. That's just how it is. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing there. But at least it gives me another option to do this, and I got to make 2 columns of these. How many of you stay up all night long, play video games, and sleep? And not work? I hope nobody's doing it. I hope you're all working and have jobs and stuff, because I'm like... And then I hear somebody in the house going, well, I don't want to do the messy work, but can you help me get a job? I get that sometimes, you know. Can you help me get a job? Okay. I got this, and that. Well, I don't want to do any labor work. Do you have an office job? I'm like, are you serious? You know, I mean, I get that. I get it. You know, I don't know how, but it's like, I don't want to work, but I want to get paid. Well, I need help with something. I'm going to pay you. You're going to have to do something to help me. Well, I don't want to do any hard labor. You know, well, you're going to have to take our brick separator and just kind of mush these sides down like this. Okay, I'm not worrying about these, because now I'm going to flip it to that, and we're going to straighten those out. See? Really good trick, huh? Saves you time from lining all those up. Now, if you want to leave them crooked, you're more than welcome to do so. But yeah, there we go. That takes care of around that window there. Not too bad. Okay, now we're going to continue with some more decorations and stuff. Yeah, so I get that from time to time, and I'm just like, you know, I can't help you. I'm sorry. But I don't know. So I'm just kind of chilling here like a villain and trying to think of some. I got a tutorial that when I was taking a shower earlier. It came in my mind, and I'm really thinking of building it. Something that I've been to before, and I thought it'd be a really good idea to actually do that. Is there something that goes behind that or no? So you know what I'll be working. I got tutorials. Every time, like I said, you know my best inspiration for tutorials is when I'm in the shower. I don't know what it is. Every time I go to the shower, I'll think of these ideas up. And sometimes I'm just tempted to keep like a little whiteboard or something in there so I can write them down. So right now it's just a concept. It's not even anything big yet. But we will have to do that eventually, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm kind of pooped, and at least here I can talk to you guys and stuff like that. Some say I sound lonely. It's not that I sound lonely. Sometimes I wish I had somebody back here to help me with this stuff, just so we could kind of have a two-way conversation. Doing these videos, you know, it just kind of, you know, but it brings up a question I've answered before. You know, when I do these videos, like, who am I really talking to? Like, who am I talking to when I'm doing these? You know, it just depends. I'm talking to myself mostly, but you know, but I'm talking to you, the viewer. Really, nobody ever comes back here when I'm filming. And yeah, you know, I'm talking to the audience here. So I'm talking to myself, but I'm also discussing things that, you know, like if I'm building a set, if we were building together, and you can't see what I'm doing here, but I'm talking to you as if you were here experiencing the process with me. So I always get that question asked. Jay, who are you talking to? You do these. I even get it asked in the house. Who are you talking to back there? I'm talking to the camera, you, the audience, the viewer. You know, that's who I'm talking to. And trying to explain it is kind of dicey here. Like they think I'm kind of weird or something like that. Well, things are about to get weirder back here eventually. Okay, now we're going to be focusing on a window. And yeah, I will be moving the camera around from time to time here. So let's put that right there. Okay. Yeah, I get questions asked, and some things like that I will answer. If it's about my vision impairment, I will not. You know, that's getting to be kind of a sore subject, and I just don't want to get into it. I know some people are curious, and you know, I'm kind of insecure about it even to this age, but I've been teased and poked and made fun of for it, and it's not like something I picked. I didn't wake up one morning and go, can't wait to have this problem to deal with. Well, that window's there now, and it's moving down there. So yeah, that's you know, kind of what I've been wanting to do. Now Lego, now we do have one of these. Unless we're utilizing anytime today, unless we're utilizing that there. Okay. But, you know, when it comes to just doing these videos, I'm talking to you. Stay focused. I'm going to throw you across the room. And yeah, I haven't looked and see if I got any. I don't think I even got any bad comments on this channel. I have to look and see. You know, those boomerangs are really a handy piece other than using them for boomerangs. But yeah, more essentially, I just talked to you guys and gals. I talked to you as if you were here. We were experiencing the set together. You know. And I kind of wish I had somebody that did that stuff, you know. But like I said, as long as you're here, that's all that matters. I'd like to still do a live stream, though, if possible, so we can talk together. But I still got to figure out what I want to do about face cam, because, yeah. You know, what does it matter? You know, like I've mentioned in a few other videos, it gets old after a while, and probably going to say that for my exclusive members. I don't know. In case something bad happens there, then I have to take that away too. But you know, like I said, it's just a concept right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, take our brick separator. I'm just going to press it on there just to flatten those out. Okay. And let's place these on here as shown. Like that. Yeah. And then that window goes on the top here with a plate. So you're doing a bunch of stuff. So we're on step 182. Yeah, that kind of thing. That's the only problem about tower builds, is that we have to move the camera around a lot. There we go. Set that there. Now remember, if it doesn't fit in there, you wiggle it in. Just wiggle it. And let me look at something here. We have a bunch of... Let me go pick that up real quick. We have a bunch of these here. So let's see where these go here. Dude, you're going to have to keep it quiet in there. If I have to go in there and tell you to knock it off, it's not going to be pretty. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake here. Right now I see what I did wrong. Peel these off here. Matter of fact, I may just go in the other room and unplug the networking wires. I'm the only one that has a key to the locker, so I can't get into it if I unplug it. And that's what we were remaining there for bag 22, and yeah, we just got done with that there. Okay, now we're going to move on to bag 23. Well, let's see here. I just want to throw out some trivia for you guys and gals. Looks like we got some big parts in there. But I don't know if anybody notices, though. But you know, most people have two eyes. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that, huh? Yeah, just some random trivia to throw out there. You know, you have two eyes. You know, usually everybody's got a nose and a mouth. Why did I bring that up? I don't know, I'm just kind of weird today. And just remember, your eyes do move around. So, yeah. Hey, where did that come from? A video that I saw. I thought, why not relay that information to you guys and gals? So we can admire all the sand blue. Look at all that sand blue. Oh, okay, we got two sides here. I'll show you. All right. This gentleman here has two sides, but oh, I don't want the sad face. We're at Disneyland. Who wants to be sad? My voice is starting to crack again. You know what that means. Oh, they didn't give this kid broccoli hair? Well, that's kind of lame, but they gave him an ice cream cone, so at least he's got ice cream. I mean, who doesn't like the broccoli hair? I know a lot of gals that don't like it, but I don't know, the guys think the girls do. Of course, I'd have been one of those guys that did it too, but this kid's lucky he's at Disneyland having ice cream. I mean, nice print work for the torso. Pretty cool there. We don't need that one anymore. And yeah. Alright, now we got to bring back the main model here. Saw another video of somebody building a Lego set in a full-blown costume. Oh man, I'm just so tempted just to do that. Just make a fool of myself on YouTube. I already am doing it now. It's called I'm an adult building Lego sets. I can't pass judgment. So I left a comment on this person's channel. I probably just think I'm some random. Like, oh, that's a cool build. Thanks for sharing, and I like the costume, by the way. You know, I'm not going to be one of those trolls. Let's just have a little fun with them. They probably don't even know I do Lego. Unless they're a fan of mine, and then they will know. Okay, now we're going to be focusing on something here. You know, let's bring this down here. This is pretty involved. This is the only bad thing about when I do bigger builds, is I have to constantly move the gear around. Yeah, so my goal is to kind of just get this one done here. After I do this one, probably when I get home, I'm going to do a review on a set. I got to find a set first. Hopefully I'll have enough memory card to do it. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do other things. I don't even know. I'm still kind of tired and don't want to do anything, but I got to deal with the work stuff today. I thought, let's see if there's any more people building Lego and masked costumes. And yeah, this one person put a set together and didn't make any mistakes, and I thought, oh man, I'm going to have to get into this, get into a dual hobby here. I have an advantage. I can just mass produce my, oh, not mass produce, just make my own. Okay, we are back up here. And then this goes here. Like that. And then after that, we got to put some more slopes in there. I don't have any of these in sand blue. If I do, I don't have a lot. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Would you guys like me to do these a little more ridiculously? Like, I'm still going to do the same thing, but just make a fool of myself. I'm thinking of doing it just for fun. You know, take something as dull as just a typical 9-to-5 build and do that. Now we got to build 2 more roof panels here, so we're just going to do these simultaneously. No, I should do this while wearing big fluffy gloves and see if I can do it without making mistakes, but I would not be doing it on a review offer because these I have to be more you know, on top of it here. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some fun ideas for this channel, just to kind of spice it up a bit. Now, tutorials, I'm still going to keep those original because I want to focus on the builds more than anything. So it's not like I don't want to mess up on those. Yeah, these are nice little slopes. I just need more of them. And yeah, it looks like we'll just be doing a lot of repetitive work on the roof today. I've been kind of looking around for another place to camp. There's some government land that you can do that on, but I don't know. Usually they don't have any, I was going to say landlords, but no, they don't have any hosts there, and you know, I don't want to just camp somewhere where there's a bunch of rowdy people. That's not fun. But this is kind of like a little intricate design here. Alright. Let me take this. Oh yeah, we're going to be moving this camera around a lot, huh? I mean, that looks really good. Yeah, just try to put together a modular with big, thick, furry gloves. Now, I'm not a furry, so I'm not going to go that far. I want to see if I wonder if there's anybody that's done this in a furry costume. That'd be kind of cool. And just sit here and build. They don't have to talk or whatever. Just sit and just build. I'm sure there's probably somebody. I need to check YouTube and see. Jay, you're kind of getting into all that. I'm always into different things. I think everything should be different. We don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. So I got to thinking, yeah, difference is always cool. What do we say? Being weird is cool. You know, I mean, why not? It's how it is. Oh, I forgot to cut some wires. going to have to do that. All right, move that out of the way there, and we are going to be back down here. Okay, now we're doing 2 more of these. So if you're going to get seasick over this, I'm sorry. I just there's a lot of movement around here, and kind of just want to get onto that new item I want to build. Wish I could share it with you guys and gals, but I got competition. Trying to think of any other questions. You know what I've been forgetting though is mentioning the names of questions that have been asked. If you're like Janet and a few others that comment regularly, I would know, I'd know your name, that kind of thing, and I get to know you through the comments. Like I said, though, if you're ever interested in our Discord server, it's free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to be a paying member. You can just hop on in and just talk there. That's how it should be. You shouldn't have to pay to talk to your favorite YouTubers. Some do it just because they're money hungry. Some do it as a thing to keep the crowds down. I do it just because I want to talk to you, the viewer. And we can become friends, I mean, that's how it is. Okay, back up we go. That's going to get annoying, I know, right? At least we're putting it in here. Boy, it feels like something's falling on me. I don't have anything in here. Okay, and that goes there. I didn't check. Maybe that I should have checked. Okay, and this one goes here. We don't have anything here, though, so why don't we? Matter of fact, I hadn't even sorted any parts lately, which I got to get on to. Just haven't been in the mood to sort parts. With the whole, you got to remove a sig fig off your banner is just kind of annoying. So that's what's hogging up my time. But yeah, the avatar, I got an idea how I want him to look in my head. So I just got to generate the files. Well, I got one of these to make. Let's see if I could do it floating in air here. So I don't have to make everybody dizzy here. Okay, it's the same thing as what we've been doing. Well, maybe not the same thing. It's a little different. I got to keep checking the viewfinder. That goes in the back like that. Okay. Yeah. Just let me know what you guys think. A lot of people don't comment on these. I understand. I know I'm a boring person, but just trying to, think of some new commentary. That kind of thing. After a while, talking about drama stories and stuff does get kind of dry. Okay, so we got that in there, and yeah, we are pretty much done with that there. Okay, and now it looks like we are continuing with adding the decorative stuff on the top here. Lego. Hey, who doesn't like this toy, or art medium as I like to call it, because I'll use it for art stuff. These have been around for years, but I was looking for some of these in this color, and I had just enough for a project, but I thought I could have used a bit more. Wow, Lego, you put this like this? It's butted up against there? You don't have a corner fence? I'm sure you can make one of these in corner form. I mean, come on now. I mean, it's not that hard. Just make a mold. Okay. Alrighty, so after we get done with that, and okay, I see. We only need 2 of those. Wish I could sing in these. I'm not even a singer. What am I talking about? I don't want to run my audience off. You know, I should sing a song to you guys, like, was it Rockabye Baby? And when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. Down will come baby, cradle and all. And yeah, we're going to be focusing on the inside now. Well, we're going to be doing this right here. So you don't even have access into that. Okay, well that's kind of lame. Oh, we got to do one more of those goofy roof pieces. Alright, let's get it done here. How much time do I have left? I have 18 minutes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pack this card in as tight as I can get it. And I'm going to pack this card in and just kind of, I don't know, just get some stuff done here for the night. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, I'm really thinking about just, I gotta make sure though, whatever I do for, in terms of just anything on this channel or any of my channels, is not to use a trademarked image or anything. Like I said, I have a Pikachu mask, but that's good for like live streams or something, but I won't do it here because Lego kind of frowned upon us talking or showing other products in here. So what if it's a custom thing? I guess it doesn't count. I don't know. Boy, this would almost been like a perfect split, but I don't know about that there. Not bad at all, but oh no, we're not done yet. Because now I gotta focus here. You know, we have 1x4 plates we could have shoved in there. We're almost done here. Almost done for the morning. Almost done. We gotta put some fences in there. Somebody did ask, you know, they wouldn't be offended if I cussed in my videos. I wouldn't mind cussing in my videos. It's just, I want to make them more universal for everybody to watch. Or I would be cussing like a sailor, especially with all the scratched, banged up stuff. But just for respect for my viewers who don't do that, I'm not going to do it. And then now it looks like we're putting some decorative stuff on the roof. So we're going to start right here. There's actually stuff that connects to these using a candlestick in one of these. These type of pieces here, whoops, you can't see what I'm doing. See these? Okay, come on. There we go. Now I'm going to keep this nasty hole in the back, well, like this anyways. And this goes right here. These type of pieces will be your friend. I never thought I would ever use candlestick holders, but they do come in handy. They do come in handy. And it's a nice little decoration piece. So, you know, and like at first I was like, oh, these are junk parts, I'll never use them, but I use them a lot. So yeah, that's how it is. And this is supposed to go right in the middle, so that's a good way to swing this around here to get that right in the middle. So it looks like we got some nice trim there on the roof. And well, it looks like we just wrapped up bag 23. And yeah, that's what we have remaining there. Okay, now we're going to move on to bag 24, which will wrap up this installment. And while I'm getting comfy here, I want to thank everyone on my main channel and Patreon for being contributors. It's always a big help. And, oh, yuck, I'm glad now I changed memory cards, since we have 2 bags in it. That means we're going to be here for 30 minutes. But anyways, I want to thank everyone for that. And I want to thank everyone for taking the time to checking out my rubricable profile and helping yourself to my building guides. Just please respect my copyright. And lastly, I want to thank everyone. This essentially being a part of this journey and subscribing to this channel and putting your input on how I do sets and stuff like that on here. Even the constructive comments are always welcome. You know, I'm not going to get mad. I don't block people for constructive work, because that would not be cool if I did. You know, unless it's something really bad, you can say whatever you want. You know, in case you want to risk it. And I wouldn't risk it even for the brisket. Alright. So it looks like right now we are going to be building a lampshade, and I like these green ones. These look really cool. So this could be something I'd see like in a downtown area or something. And yeah, usually I don't even bother checking these. But except for the numbers stamped on them, they're not that bad. I mean, we got all these cool parts now, like, you know, oh, we're actually going to put a sticker on something? Wow, that's kind of lame. Trying to find the blue plate here. Oh, it's in this bag. You know, yeah. I've been thinking about that mascot for the channel, and we need sticker number 16, which is one more of these. And yeah, I think it's going to be really cool to do him and just have him pop in. But I kind of, I may use him for future notes. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Boy, I didn't get that on there very well, but there we go. Sometimes this camera doesn't like behaving. I'm starting to get hungry. I gotta make a breakfast before I go, or I get the stale donuts at the office. Even though if I'm the boss and the owner, if I snooze, I lose. That's on me. So, okay, that goes right here with the flag facing outwards. Well, that's not exactly how that's supposed to look, huh? So we're going to need to rotate this like that. That's a lot better doing it that way, huh? Oh, well, I got that out of the way. I got that whole set done here. And we got another dust bin or recycle bin or something like that. I mean, you got to have trash cans at the park so the kids don't throw their snow cones all over the ground so you step on them. We need sticker number 9 here, which is that. Making sure I get that on there right. But it makes me happy when you guys and gals comment and just, even if you're just talking about just, hey, Jay, what's up? You know, I mean, that's fine with me. Like I said, this is a very inclusive group. I like to keep everything open. You know, that's what it's all about. I've seen some communities where they're very welcoming. Not Lego communities, just other communities. And there's some out there who, oh, we're very welcoming. When you go in there, next thing you know, you're facing expulsion because you were off topic. Here, you know, I'm very lightweight on rules when it comes to stuff like that. Even I can't stay on topic, so how do I expect you, the viewer, to do that? I mean, I wouldn't expect that. That's where these go right here. Maybe that's to chain the horses. You got to make 2 of those. We got something to read here. Main Street USA features a horse-drawn streetcar that guests can ride along the street, so you can find hitching posts that would have been used back in the day to secure horses. Well, no Smurf we had to do that, huh? We don't use horses now. We use cars. Pretty soon we might go back to horses again. We don't know. Looks like we're building something else here. We got to make 2 of them, so I'm glad now I checked. Yeah, I turned off part of the internet, but I forgot to unplug the stupid Wi-Fi because I don't need it right now. Well, I just flip a switch and turn it off. So we got to make a bunch of these here. We got to make 2 of them. So I have just been thinking, you know, about doing some other things here. But yes, Jay's defer, let's build it. They're the same guy. Just letting you know, just in case somebody says, Jay, is this you? I like your second channel. You're always funny over here. Yeah, that's me. Or if I put you to sleep, let me know. Well, these are black, so that's even better. I can use those for tripods or stools. Not sure what we're doing here, but I am putting that together the wrong way. I said it wasn't, but I did it anyways. Okay. Maybe they're lights. Kind of a clever way of doing it here. Hold on, I'm just reading through these here. So what they did here is they stuck this in here like that. And then this goes right here. Oh, I like that idea. That's really cool. I like that. Really cool. Alright, so after that we got to put the brass dimple on the top. Like that. No, I keep grabbing those. Oh, I have a tutorial coming up. You're going to need a few of those in that color, so start hoarding them up, folks. These little plates right here. See, here I can leak my own tutorials. Like, okay, you're going to need these parts. You're going to need this. Or, I got a couple of vehicles coming up. You may want to start saving your tires or your big steering wheels or something. So I always like doing that here. It makes this channel a little more special. And then, okay, these are, oh, I see what they're for. Alright, so we need to bring this thing back over. Don't roll off. You're trying to ruin my TV show. Alright. Okay, we're back inside. So we already can figure out what those are going to go to. And then what they did here is they come in here and they shove these in here. So that's what those were for. And no, we don't leave them like that. We swing them down. So that's a nice little idea to snag right there for your builds. I mean, it's a nice little, whoops, well, that came off. I did that on, that's my fault. Like that. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad at all. I think that looks really good. Okay, now we're going to be focusing, I think we're going to be building a chandelier next. Which means I'm going to have to grab all these parts back over here and drag them into this area. When you start building with towers and things are tall, it takes a lot of time to do these. Alright, okay, that's what we're working at there. And yeah, golden parabola rings are cool. I don't use them in gold, but they'd still be good for trees. And, oh, yucky, we're going to have to do all that? Well, we better get going here. I don't want to be late to work because I'm building a Lego set today. Okay, as long as the studs are facing up. Yeah, yeah, like over the weekend, for example, I got up late, about 10 o'clock, and I got about scorched for it. It just feels like I'm living at home again. And I'm like, it's the weekend, I'm off. I don't want to have to think, you know. Get the 20-year-old to do it. I'm kind of pooped. You know, I've done enough. I'm just, I think I'm just burnt out. Even my girlfriend's just kind of like, I'm just burned out. I'm just tired. I think it's the heat, and I just said, yeah, it's probably that. I was like, let's get out of town, so her and I are going to try to pull off something else. Invite the family, and if they say no, then that's it. That saves us time. You know, that kind of thing. And then after that, we have to do this here and shove this in the center here. They don't have that in gold, but that's pretty close. So you can obviously tell we're building a chandelier. And then we have the cap that goes on the top. I mean, these little ideas are just cool. And I get this, you know, I get it. Jay, where do you get these cool ideas from? I get them from sets like this. I'm not going to lie to you. I get them from sets like this, and I kind of just modify them to work my own needs. You know, the Lego building guides and Lego sets are good teachers. It doesn't yell and scream at you if you do something wrong. But you know, you could build it your own way. It's your own Lego set, and now we got to fold these up like this. So what I'm going to do, you could feel it kind of bumping into something. So I'm just going to tuck these in. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of just swing those back in there. And yeah, I don't have any more outhouse jokes today to talk about. That's still can't believe somebody fell in the toilet trying to rescue a pair of glasses, sunglasses, I might add. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I won't do that. And then we're going to bring this up here. When I do the tour on these, I need to figure out how I want to do it. Okay, shove that right in there, and I'm sure that just swings straight down. So for the kids to swing off of, they can jump and so they can get onto the train tracks. We don't know. Just that alone there looks really good. We haven't done anything with the top yet, but I mean, who looks at the ceiling anyways? Okay, now it looks like we're focusing our attention back in this area right here. So if you want me to humiliate myself and... No, you know what, speaking of that, there's a guy on YouTube. He does vintage electronics. He makes his own vacuum tubes. He's made radios and stuff, working radios just from raw material. And he wears a dress. I literally kid you not. I think it's a guy. I can't tell. Just, you know, I think just so people could remember him more. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I remember, I know his name. I'm not going to mention on here on YouTube, but he does a lot of the, he's made his own vacuum tubes and stuff, which is cool. Very intelligent YouTuber in the vintage electronics community. And you meet some pretty colorful people on here, but some of them you can remember a lot more. People remember me from all the big houses and stuff I made. I want to bring that flavor back, you know, to bring back the old ways I used to do things. And, you know, that means humiliating myself in the process. So I'll do that, you know. I don't mind. I mean, it'd be something fun to do. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But no, I'm not gonna wear a dress or anything like that. Maybe I should, but then again, I don't need anybody at work finding out, and then worse, my family finds out and going, "What are you doing? Is this some kind of fetish or something?" I don't want to do that. Worse, the girlfriend kind of looks at me all weird and goes, "What? What were you thinking?" I don't know. I'm just doing YouTube. Well, you need to stop that. I don't want to get to that part. But just something fun to do on here in terms of just goofiness. I don't know yet. Maybe get a puppet or something. But no, I'm gonna just tinker around with the avatar. That'll be the fun thing for a bit. Kind of have him pointed up there and give him a voice. Yo, man, dude, what is up, bro? You are messing up so hardcore, man. I can't believe you call yourself the Lego nerd, and just kind of just throw him in there. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. So like right now we're just doing a bunch of test videos. Okay, this goes right above here, like that. All right, we're getting close to this. We're almost done here. Almost done. But not quite. Okay, now it looks like we're adding more trim. Yeah, I thought, oh, I'd have enough time to fit all this on one card, but now I had to split it. I'm hoping I'll have enough card spaces. I want to get into regular tutorial, get a regular review done. And as far as for tutorials, I got a couple of ideas that I want to do. I just need to get off my rear and do them. Okay, I see how these go. This one goes like this. So we must be using this to anchor down. So you got to have as many studs. And plus it's rounded at the top, so we're just probably, looks like we're trying to clear something. So these bricks are being used for more than just decorations. What to do? What to do? Like really, I'm sitting here right now trying to think of things to do during the summer months that it's hotter than hell out here. I don't know. Okay, now it looks like we're going to be focusing our attention back on the workbench again, because now we're going to have to build that little roof there. Well, let's get on that real quick and get it done. Look, we already got a picture hanger made. Isn't that cool? Bring this a little closer for you. Yeah, I do sound angry in my videos, but I promise you guys I'm a nice guy. You know, I really am. I'm not mean. I don't tell you you're wrong. I'm not going to cut you off when you're talking. I have somebody here that does that a lot. When I'm talking, they'll cut me off. And I never really get to finish a sentence. I don't know what that's like. Try not to yawn in your ear. At least here I can say something and finish it. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can just fast forward or mute the sound. So no harm there. But I did get a comment on one of my older videos. Your family doesn't like vacations. Not really. I don't get it, but you know, it's to each his or her own. All right, we got to make 6 of these little boogers here. I still got to get up and get ready for work here, but I'd really like to get this done. I don't have to be working till a little later today because it is Thursday. But the later I show up, guess what happens? Later I get home. Okay, I'm finding a lot of these here. Okay. Wait a minute, I got 2 studs in my hands and I need 2 of these. Okay, well that's just being kind of goofy there. I was starting to mess myself up. Alright, so now we take the regular wood, just take these and put them here. I mean, so far it's looking good. Okay. Okay. I do need a bunch of these, just not in this color. But I've been working on. Okay, now it looks like we're focusing on another substack like we did in the other roof parts. So we're going to need to make 3 of these here. I don't know how some people can just play video games 24/7. I can sit down and play a game for an hour or two, and after that I'm just bored. And sometimes I just want to build stuff out of Lego, because I mean, I grew up in a different time where, I mean, who cares about screen time? You know, I mean, I don't care. I want to touch a physical product and just have fun with it. Yeah, brush my teeth, shave real quick, and then out the door I go. So I'm hoping to wrap this up. Yeah, we have 2 bags. You're here for a while. It's just easier for me to set these down like that. So anytime you get a regular bag, it's usually 10 minutes. And if there's small bags, usually I count 5 minutes on top of those. It just depends. Sometimes if we just got tons of small parts, it could take even longer. Like this, we're already 20 minutes into this segment, and we're not even close to completion yet here. It's a nice use for these cloud pieces. Well, that's what they look like to me, are clouds. Yeah, after we make those 3, they go on here. Like that. Okay. I mean, we're at least using some nice soothing colors. Okay. And yeah. Okay. I mean, we're dolling this thing all up here, aren't we? Hey, at least we're down here. We're not working up on the roof. Now we know what goes on those, as we got a couple of these things here. So I'm trying to find. We got a flag. I bet that's going to get stickered. Fencing. I'm trying to find another one of these. Bet that goes on next. Doesn't go on next. Okay, then I'm glad I didn't put that on there. Kind of get that centered up there. Just rotate this top plate right here, and you can just kind of swing it into place. All right. And then after that, we put the plate on the top. I would have just put the plate on first. Maybe we had to do it because we had to swing these into place. Yeah, maybe. Okay, and then after that, we put the fence on the top and then start burying parts in here. And, I gotta get ready for work. Alright, so we put this fence here, and then we take some of these. Now I got tons of these, if I can grab them, these little plates here. They do have a lot of uses. Yes, I broke a few of those clips off before, but those are usually the reddish browns. I do have a few white ones that have suffered. I've noticed some of my whiter Lego pieces have been turning a nice milk color, which I don't like. So... no, they're not in the sun either, so I don't know what's going on with it. May have to do some retro brightening, peroxide and some stuff, and brighten up those colors. I want to see if it'll also work with blue. I'm starting to get a lot of the blue pieces turning teal. I think it's the plasticizer or the flame retardant stuff that's used in these to make them do that. This is a very expensive hobby. I want to take care of my parts, and I want them to last as long as I can. We have one more of those remaining here. Did I forget to put something in, or did I just not get it done all the way yet? Alright, so the roof goes on next. Let's plop that on the top then. Alright, so I have to move it again. I'm sorry. I think this hopefully might be the last time. Okay. And then, there, done. I wish it was only that easy. Let's see here. So I think this goes in here. So this is probably a key here. I think that's what I'm going to do, is kind of set that in first. I'm going to put my finger right here, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it down in there. And take a peek under here. We are sucked in pretty good. Let's make sure here. Yep. Maybe a little bit more persuasion in there. There we go. Just slowly put that in there. Alright. And the last thing we got to do here is put the flag in. So we need sticker number 17 for the flag. It's just that for Disney. Yeah, at least I got that right. Okay. Okay, and then that goes right in that hole there. Okay. And we have one piece that I don't know where it went, so I'm going to check my work here real quick. But that's essentially what I've done here. Just going to backtrack and see. Did I put those in there? Yeah, so there's pieces there. Okay, that's okay. And if you get pieces like that, oh, I see where this goes. You know where it goes? In that hole there. I forgot to put it inside there. Well, let's see here. Is this going to be like the game of operation? Should I even worry about it? Well, what if I just grab that and kind of flicked it in there, huh? I can't even get that in there. I hope he's not in the server room messing with my gear, because I'm going to be not too happy. Okay, I got it in there. Just have to finagle that in there. And that's it. That is it for this installment here. And so the last thing that we actually have to do here is to join these two things up. I'm not going to do that right now. Well, we don't have that other part built, so we can't do anything. And that is what we have done there for this installment series for the Emporium. Let's just leave this out here, and we can take a look at the inside real quick. Because when I get done, when I do the actual filming on these things, that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to just do that. So we should have here... Okay, I got one too many stars, so I think I may have missed one, but that's what we should have remaining there for the build. And then before I get ready for work, I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi to the house. They can live without it for a few hours. And I forgot this too. Where does the star go? Did they just give us an extra one? Oh, I know where I missed it. I forgot to put it right under here. My bad. We'll just put that right in there real quick there. There we go. So you make mistakes. Yeah, you should only have one of each of the small parts. That's how you would figure it out. And yeah, I'm going to say that looks really good. That'd make a beautiful modular, but Lego missed this one, unfortunately. And I think we need to just kind of suck up the flavor here. This looks really good. And I'm going to say, yeah, a 5 build quality. It looks like a beefed up modular, but it's far from it. I'd say it's probably well, this is like a half a modular here. I mean, it looks like somebody sliced it right down the middle here. And there's just no roof. No roof. Well, that concludes the summation of thoughts. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, tell me what you think of the Emporium.